Like it or not, tax day right around the corner.
And with the deadline fast approaching, News 5's Jesse Schultz is breaking down the common mistakes people make and answering some questions you may have.
If you're a wait until the last minute to file person, well, you're not alone. According to the IRS, tax returns received so far are down compared to this time last year. But there are some things you can do to make filing a bit less of a headache. Angel Rice with Cohen & Company Accounting says the most common problem she sees is disorganization. The first thing you should ask yourself is, where does your income come from? Do you have one job or two? Then you should have multiple W-2s. Or are you working as an independent contractor and have a 1099? If you have the correct forms, you're already off to the right start. The IRS says some of the most common mistakes they see are simple fixes. I'm talking math errors, wrong or misspelled names on forms, wrong account numbers, people forgetting to even sign their own names, and not keeping a copy of their return. As for if you should itemize or take the standard deduction, Rice says look at the difference between the two and take the higher of them. But generally, most of you will take a standard deduction, especially with the higher deduction this year because of the Tax Reform Act. And if you feel like you're just not ready to file yet, there are some things you can do. Try to pay something.
What that will allow you to do is then have additional time to gather those actual documents so that you can file a complete return. And at that point, we can true up and see if you maybe owe additional money or maybe you paid in a little too much, which is what we usually suggest, is to pay in a little more than you think you might owe, and then we can request a refund.
If you don't want to go the professional route, there are a lot of apps out there that can help. Here's just a few. The first is Free Tax USA. It offers help with federal returns for no charge and state returns for about $15. There's also customer support via live chat so you can ask questions. Here's another one, Tax Act Express. It lets you prepare and file federal and state tax returns, upload your W-2, and tracks your returns and refunds. There's also Tax Slayer. That's free for 1040 filers. Other apps, TurboTax, H&R Block, and Credit Karma. I'm Jesse Schultz for News 5.
So once you do those taxes and you're sure you have not made any mistakes, what happens if you can't afford to pay what you owe? That's the big question. Depending on how much you owe, you may be able to file for an online payment agreement. You can do it through the IRS website.
And if you can't even make installment payments, the IRS may agree to delay collections. And this is a good time to review your paycheck and adjust withholdings.